Hey guys, this week on Kombativ, we're testing out this hidden sword battle stick as well as some of the other weapons from the Kombativ.com website. But before we begin, if you just like this video and subscribe to our channel, that would be awesome. So how are you guys doing this week?
Good.
Fantastic. We had a great weekend.
Awesome. As both of you know, I got married this last week to a beautiful girl named Nicole, and you guys were both there.
And it was amazing. It was amazing.
Kind of felt like we crashed a wedding a little bit, but it was fun.
So we'll put some pictures on this video then, a little bit. So every week we get calls and emails from different people asking questions about various weapons that we have. So this week I asked Amanda to go back into the warehouse and grab some of those weapons so that I could review them. She's boxed them up for me so I don't know what they are. That way I can give a good and fair and honest review of each item and hopefully answer those questions. So without further ado, Amanda, what is our very first item?
There you go.
Awesome, thank you. All right, and our very first weapon is the trench knife Balisong. Awesome, awesome. So it looks like we've got two different colors in here. We've got the standard silver color, and then we've got the black color. Let's look at the silver one. So the question that the customer asked about this guy is, can these be flipped around like a butterfly knife, or do they function similar to a standard folding knife? So that's an excellent question. I love that because, as you can see, they've got this D-guard on here that kind of makes them a little bit awkward for flipping like a butterfly knife. So we're going to have to test that out a little bit. So first off, we can see that these come with a standard latch on them. So they're not a spring latch. But I grew up with a standard latch, so I actually prefer a standard latch when it comes to my knives. So I like that feature. The blade and handle are made from a 440 stainless steel. And we can see that it's got a combo edge blade. So we've got the plain edge here, and we've got a serrated section here. Now the serrated section is going to be really good if we were cutting through rope or something. The plain edge is going to be better for slicing and stabbing. We can also see that we've got some venting in the blade here and some venting in the handle, and that just gives it a better aesthetic appeal and takes a little bit of weight off the weapon. We can also tell that it does have star screws on here, which is nice in the respect that you can loosen them or tighten them to give yourself the right amount of play that you want with your butterfly knife. So kind of a good feature for a lot of people who love butterfly knives. We can also see that this does have the D-guard on here, but it's got these like really mean little spikes on here that I think would be very good as an additional weapon. So I actually want to test this out a little bit. I want to see if this hurts my hand to punch with. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that latch in there. And now we have just a standard trench knife. So let's go ahead and just try punching with this thing. Wow, that didn't hurt my hand at all. That's going to do a lot of damage. Felt comfortable on my hand. Actually, this knife is really comfortable to hold on to. But the question was asked, can we flip it? So let's go ahead and just test that out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and take that latch off, close it up. And the first thing I always like to test is, can we use the latch to kind of flip these things? So let's test that. Nice. Flipped out nicely, flipped closed nicely. Flip it in the other direction, flips open very nicely. Now we've got it in reverse grip. So I've got my D-guard right there ready to punch. Can also do my strikes that way. Very, very nice. Like that. Let's see if we can flip this like a standard butterfly knife. So, okay, it's a little bit awkward just because it is so big, but you can still do it. I mean, I think it would take a little bit of practice, but I mean, overall, you can definitely do it. Now, the blade length is approximately 4 3/4 inches. The open length is approximately 11 inches, and the closed length is approximately 6 1/4 inches, and it weighs about 9 ounces. But one thing I do need to mention is check your local laws, because this is not only a butterfly knife, but this is also a trench knife, and the laws between both of those are very strict. So just check your local laws. But that's about all I have to say about this, right?
Yep.
All right, well, let's go ahead and put this away and move on to our next weapon. Okay, all right, Amanda, thank you so much. Okay, I'm gonna grab a knife off the wall to open this guy up. Okay, and our next weapon is the hidden sword battle stick. Awesome, awesome. This is a new weapon we just added to the site, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, this is cool. All right, so the question our customer had on it was, Will the compression fitting hold the stick together when you strike it, or will the scabbard fall off due to vibration? Now that is an excellent question, and what he's referring to here is basically we've got like a 28-inch Eskrima stick here that we can use as a battle stick. So let's just try striking with that. Okay, so that strikes pretty well, and what he was worried about is this part going to open up as you're striking with it because it is a compression fitting, and it did not appear to be that way. Now, the other question we get asked is, why use a compression fitting instead of like a threaded fitting of some sort, which would hold that in there a little bit nicer? Well, the reason behind that is because the compression fitting will allow you to pull out your weapon very quickly from the scabbard, whereas a threaded fitting, we're going to end up having to unscrew it for a while. So it is nice in that respect. Now, one of the other cool things about this is, now that I've taken out the sword, we've actually got two weapons in one. We can use this scabbard as a striking instrument. We can also use this sword for stabbing or slicing. And this sword is a dual-edged sword, so we've got both edges are sharpened on this thing, which makes it very good for piercing. So I do like that aspect of it. Now the handle and the scabbard on this thing are made from that fiberglass reinforced nylon material that I love so much. Now, one of the other things I love about this weapon is it's got these little spikes all up and down the shaft. So if you were to try to strike with it and someone tried to block it, it's going to hurt their arms or hands very, very badly. So that was a well thought out feature of this weapon. We can also see that there's spikes on both pommels on here, so you could use that for hammer strikes. And then we can also see that we've got grooves here to be used as a handle. But the blade on this is made from a 1060 carbon steel. The blade length is approximately 14.5 inches. The total length is approximately 28 inches, and the total weight is approximately 1 pound, 11 ounces. So that is a really nice weight for this weapon. But that's about all I have to say about this, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I like it. I think that's a good one.
Nice, nice. All right, well, let's go ahead and put this away and move on to our next weapon. All right, Amanda. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, and our next weapon is the Dark Defense Karambit. Awesome, awesome. I love karambits. Thanks, Amanda. All right, and the question on this is, what is the best grip for this karambit, and can it be used in extended grip due to the spike on the pommel ring? So that's that guy right here. Well, let's take a closer look at this first, and then we'll answer that question. So first off, we can see that it's got this really nice black Kydex sheath, and then it's got a little belt clip back there, which I like that belt clip because that's the type of belt clip we can use on the side of our body, or we can hook it to your boot as a boot knife. So that's really nice. But let's check out the blade on this thing. Okay, that's interesting. I understand why you had questions about the grips. We've clearly got these two rings on here, which make it just a little bit confusing. We can see that it's got these G10 scales on here, which look really comfortable and give it a nice ergonomic grip. So if we take it in this kind of grip, we've got this index finger placement here, and then we've got a thumb rise here. So that's actually really comfortable in that grip as long as we have our pinky finger in that end pommel ring. But if we slide our hand up here and put our index finger in that top hole, we can kind of use it like a Skinner knife. So we have some jimping up here for our thumb, and then we can use that for more utility purposes like taking the bark off of a tree or something. In reverse grip, if I put my pinky finger in this hole, it's actually really comfortable because I've got a thumb rise here with some jimping, and then we've got this hexagonal ring for the pommel, so it's not a typical rounded ring. So that gives me really good control and placement for my thumb. And then we've got that little spike here, so we can use that for different defensive techniques as well. So we could actually strike with that, and then come around and slice with the blade. So that's really nice in itself. But if we move our hand up, we can put our index finger in that hole. And then let's check to see if we can do extended grip. So in reverse grip, it's comfortable. Extended grip, yes, I can do extended grip. It's a little awkward though because of that spike. So me personally, if I was to hold this knife, I would plan on my pinky finger always being in one of the holes. So if I'm holding in a reverse grip, I'd have my pinky finger in that hole, be able to slice with that, use that spike right there. Or if I have it in forward grip, I'd put my pinky finger in that hole, and then I've got that thumb rise there, so that's very, very comfortable on my hands. Now the blade is made from a 440C stainless steel, which means that it's got a higher carbon content than standard stainless steel, which means that it's harder, stronger, and more wear resistant than standard stainless steel, plus it's still corrosion resistant. Now the blade and the tip are both very sharp. And then if we look at the top of the blade, we can see that we have this false edge up top, which really doesn't have any benefit to it. It just gives it a nice aesthetic appeal. Now the blade is clearly full tang, going all the way through the handle. The blade length is approximately 3.5 inches. The total length is approximately 8.5 inches. And the total weight is approximately 6 ounces. So that's a really nice weight for this karambit. I actually really like this karambit.
This is like a super versatile karambit. Like,
It really is. It really is. So I hope I was able to answer your questions on that one. I really like it. But that's about all I have to say about this. So I'm going to go ahead and put this away. Let's move on to our next weapon. All right. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate it. All right. What do we have here? All right, and our last weapon of the day is the competition aluminum nunchucks. Awesome, awesome. I actually remember this question coming in the other day and getting asked about it, so I'm glad you brought this out. So the question is, because these are made from a hollow aluminum, are they strong enough to be used for combat purposes, or are they just for competition? And that is an excellent question. So we actually hand make these right here in our manufacturing facility in Arizona, and they're made from a very strong hollow aluminum, which is both lightweight and very durable. And then they've been anodized to be given these nice colorful finishes. So we actually have like blacks, blues, green, red, and then these gold ones are really flashy, so I like these a lot. And then you can see that they've had this machined grip added to them just for added control. So that's really nice. One of the things that's kind of interesting too is these are a hollow aluminum, but because of the way that they're machined, you can't even tell that they're hollow. They look like a solid piece of metal. So very, very cool. The diameter is approximately 1 inch, and the handle length is about 12 inches, and the total weight is approximately 15 ounces. So let's go ahead and test these out a little bit. I'm going to throw on my safety glasses. And I've got the Wing Chun dummy right here. So I'm going to try a number of different strikes just to see how well these things hold up. So, I mean, they're really nice because they're so light. So I can actually swing them pretty fast. Strike, strike. And then you should see these big bumps that are being added to the Wing Chun dummy. So check this out, Ian. You can see all of these little thumps right there. So I'm going to give it a couple more. Boom, boom. Okay, and then I'm going to strike also like this, so a little bit back, and so you can see these things can definitely be used for combat in addition to competition. So very, very cool. One thing I do need to mention is check your local laws though, because the laws against nunchucks can be fairly strict in certain states. And then one other thing Amanda would like me to mention is these are sold individually, not as 2 pairs. Just want to make that clear to anyone who's ordering. If you need 2 of them, order 2 of them. But that's about all I have to say about this. So if you guys could leave in the comments which weapon you like best this week, that'd be very helpful for us. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel, and check out Kombativ.com because we've got all sorts of awesome weapons on there right now. But until next week, stay combative. But don't be so combative that you get yourself in trouble with these nunchucks or take out a battle stick with a sword.